Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Hello, dear friend. Welcome to our Prayer for Peace moment on Kardec Radio. Today at 6 p.m. as always. My name is Daniel Pion. I'm super happy to be here one more time with you so we can pray together, join forces, so we can ask and support peace as much as we can. And my friends, as always, I investigate the research a bit, and I chose a text from the book Our Daily Bread, so we can tune in, we can learn a bit before we do our prayer together. So shall we? I invite you for that. The name of the prayer is called Prayer. So I think it's a great suite for us. And it's the chapter 100. Just a second. I'm going to pull it up again because it missed. It's 108. So it's 108 from the book Our Daily Bread. And the author is Emmanuel, and it was brought to us by Chico Xavier. And Emmanuel starts the prayer citing Paul, as it is in Colossians chapter 4 and verse 2, which is, devote yourself to prayer, being watchful and thankful. So because it is Thanksgiving week, I think it's a very good excerpt from the Bible for us to dive in. So Emmanuel explains, starts the chapter by saying, many believers would like to use the prayer as if they were mobilizing a broom or a hammer. They expect immediate results without being aware of any prior preparation effort. Others persevere in the repetition of the prayer while frightened and in anguish. They waste effort and consume valuable energy in unjustifiable affliction. They visualize only the evil and the shadows, and never take the time to examine the tender young sprout of the divine seed or the close or remote possibility of goodness. They incarcerate themselves on the wrong side and sometimes lose the entire existence without the effort of transferring themselves to the right side. What probability of success could be provided to the needy one that shouts out a prayer with evident symptoms of an imbalance? A prudent concessionary, to begin with, would delay the solution, prudently awaiting serenity to return to the petitioner. The words of Paul in this sense are clear. Devote yourself to prayer, being watchful and thankful. It is imperative to recognize that to praise is not solely the utterance of beautiful expressions. It is also to be happy, while in actual combat for the victory of goodness, expressing gratitude to God for the motive of the suffering and sacrifice, seeking to find advantage that adversity and the efforts brought to the spirit. Let us ask Jesus for the gift of peace and happiness, but let us not overlook glorifying the supreme designs each time that his merciful and just will clashes with our inferior objectives. Let us be convinced that a prayer contrived of desperate thoughts and inopportune demands is destined to the renovating floor as occurs to an impromptu flower that the winds blow away. So, very poetic and beautiful ending. And my friends, I think this final paragraph summarizes well the whole message that Emmanuel is bringing us, which is to pray. It's not just thinking in a selfish way, right? It's not just, okay, I want that. And it's not also something that you expect to be, have a immediate solution right away. So every time we do that, we are behaving like childish behavior, right? And between among other things that Emmanuel said, I think he highlights that we should pray with happiness, and it's amazing, right? How we can see that the lower vibrations, if you're in lower vibrations, and praying in this low vibration, it just doesn't help. And if so, he asks us to ask Jesus for the gift of peace and happiness, and it's amazing to I never thought about this way. It's so good to think about this way, and also to not overlook the supreme designs of God and the wishes and His mercifulness. Therefore, resignate on what's happening and what you're passing through, um, if it clashes with our objectives, right? So understand that this is the will of God, and it's and still we can ask for the mercy, and we can acknowledge that we submit ourselves to His will, understanding that it is for our good. Whatever is happening, it is for our good, and that everything passes. Everything shall pass, and so no, not much to be worried about when we think that we are immortal spirits with so much to learn. So that's it, my friends. That's what I wanted to share today. I hope there's at least a grain of sand of something that we could absorb. And also, as always, the challenge of trying to put in practice the message from Emmanuel. So without further ado, let me invite you to our final prayer, so we can pray for peace. I invite you to close your eyes if you may. I will put some music for us. And in one voice, let's praise to our Mother, Father God. Dear God, thank you so much for today and the gift of praying together, of learning, of accessing this information with Emmanuel, Chico Xavier, the words of Paul. And it's so good to feel this togetherness, feel the connection. And not only that, but enjoying this feeling with the certainty that we learned a little bit more of the teachings of our divine Lord Jesus Christ. That, yes, we have our wills and we have our troubles, but we understand that God does everything for our good. And therefore, if we have faith on Him, and we do, we understand and we resign for your will. And it is with peace and happiness that we are going to pass through everything. And it's so good to know that that's what you want from us. To be happy, to feel loved, and to evolve. God, please bless all the ones who are in most need. Bless also the minds of the very powerful ones. All the ones who have big decisions, are decision makers in regards to peace in this planet. Bless the minds of the ones who are in desperation, or with fear, and help us to remove our selfishness so we can think about peace to the other, to understand that they are all brothers and sisters, and that the peace starts within me, so we can all enjoy and live in peace throughout the planet. Also, dear Lord, please bring peace to the hearts to our brothers and sisters who are thinking about suicide, who are hopeless, who are also in battlefields, in wars. There's always a pathway to peace. Trusting in you. Bring them hope, bring them peace. And with much gratitude in our hearts, we kindly ask you for the permission to close this prayerful moment of today. And so be it. All right. That's it, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving week, and that, well, hope to see you next time. Big kiss. See you later. Bye bye.